You what's going on? Christopher General's Comics. Wanted to do a video today to talk to you guys about my experience at a little local con that just happened over Easter weekend. I took my youngest son and we had a good time. He had his face painted like Captain America, was all dressed up. It was awesome. Overall experience, it was in Fairfield, California, in a little, I don't know, a little recreation hall or something, in a pretty small event, but it was only $5. My kid was free, so $5 for us to get in. And most of the vendors there were really nice. None that I recognize. I mean, I don't go to cons like crazy, but none that I recognize from, I've gone, the ones that I've gone over the last, 4 or 5 years are Stockton Con and SatCon. So I didn't really recognize much people. There were a couple faces that looked familiar. I do want to give a shout out to Wonderland Comics, who was there. I forget his name, but he was a really nice guy. They're out in Fresno, so if you guys are in the Fresno area, I know Fresno is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but if you guys are ever, if you live in California and say you live in the Bay Area or Northern California and you're taking a trip to Disneyland or Southern California, you might go by Fresno. So if you ever are in that area, check out Wonderland Comics. I got most of what I got there was from them. I put most of it away, but I just got 50-cent and dollar books there. I spent maybe $15-20, and that was it. My son got some Legos and whatnot, and we had a good time. So shout out to them. There was a couple other vendors, like I said, that were really cool. But the reason I'm making this video is I had an issue, or I don't know how to say this, and I'm going to go show off some books down here while I'm talking. There was a vendor that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And, I'm walking with my son, and we're browsing around. And we get to his table, and he has, a table with boxes. And he does have a little rack. Not a big, huge wall rack, but it was like a little rack that sat behind the table, and it had one book lined up like this. It wasn't like books on top of each other. So he had maybe 8 books back there. And, obviously key books. I saw, I believe, SpiderMan, what is it, 361 or what, first appearance of Venom. Carnage. And he had a Black Panther #1. And, he was nice at first. I walked in, he was like, "Hey, how's it going? Anything in particular that you're looking for?" And I was like, just kind of browsing. And I was like, actually, you got any, older Amazing Spider-Mans? And he came around, showed me the box. Went back around the corner and started looking. But every box I looked through, the price tags were outrageous. Okay. He had little signs on the front of his boxes that said, half off marked. So, except for, that was like half of his boxes. The other half weren't. So the Spider-Man books weren't. But he had boxes that had, mostly older Bronze Age to early modern comics, which is, late 70s through the 80s. Maybe even a few early 90s in there. I saw some Batman, some Superboys, DC and Marvel, and these books were priced anywhere from $15 to like $80. So even, if you saw like a Batman book from 1983 and it's not even a key issue and it's marked for $30, even at half off, I mean, that book probably top market value might be like $4. So I was just blown away. He had maybe, out of those few boxes, he had maybe a half dozen ones that were priced for like anywhere from $3 to $6. Everything else was outrageous. And I got over to the Spider-Man box and I started looking through it. And let me see, I don't know exactly which ones he had, but I mean, take this for example. This is probably in, very good condition, not better. And I got this from A1 at a half off sale. So I got it for $3, but it's priced for $6. He had something like this from, let's see, this is late 70s, 1977. He probably had this mark for $50. And like I said, the Spider-Mans weren't half off. So we'll go up a little bit. Here's a 192 from 79, $5 at A1. And of course I got a half off. I get all my stuff from A1 half off. And he probably would have this mark for like $35. He even had some early 90s Eric Larson. It's so funny. I pulled up right to Eric Larson books for like $20. I believe he had the one with the Punisher. There's the last of McFarlane. Where is it? Somewhere around here. Like $3.31. No, maybe it was like $3.41. Anyway, it's like $25. I was blown away. And then I was looking at the keys, and I wish I would have remembered more specifics, but Black Panther #1. I want you guys to guess how much he had this book for. Now, we all know there's movie hype right now. I get it. But come on. This guy had this book for $1,000. $1,000. It wasn't even slabbed. $1,000 for Black Panther #1. I would have to say, from my research, high market value right now, at best, maybe $200. Now, I tried walking away, and he was like, "Nothing, I've got nothing," and I was like, and I kind of went through the boxes again, just, I don't know why, maybe because I'm a nice guy, and I felt like, oh, you know, let me see, but when I walked away again, and he was showing me these trades, like, I got this trade for $10 and this and that, and it's like, I'm not interested, no thanks. And when I walked away again, and he again was like, "Come on," like, I can't even remember the words he said, but walking away empty-handed and all this stuff. And I just looked back at him and kind of smiled, and I was just like, I didn't even say anything. And I walked away just feeling like, wow. And then when I left there, I was kind of had bad taste in my mouth over my overall experience, but can't let one person ruin my whole experience. But here's my thing, guys. This is my thing. I understand at cons, it's a different beast. I understand that for this is what I would do. I have a business degree, and I understand business, obviously, and I understand comics. If I was a vendor at a con, it's hard work. It costs money. It's a lot of effort. I get it. It's a grueling process. I get that. But still never finished that. But you got to understand your market. And I understand that at cons, you probably have people that are impulse buyers. And you might have people that are new to comics or just don't really know what they're looking for. You might have parents of kids that just have money to blow. But here's the thing. You can't go in there conning folks. Pun intended. Cons aren't meant for the con. And $1,000 for Black Panther #1. $2, $3, $4 books for $25, $45, $55. It's just ridiculous. Now, what I would do is, if I had key issues, you want to mark them high, because you can always negotiate. And I want to let you buyers know, be smart, because you can always negotiate your price, especially at cons. Don't ever hesitate to negotiate a price. So my thing is this: if I had that Black Panther #1 and high market value was $200, I could guarantee you, I've taken plenty of stats courses, and I understand stats to where, statistically speaking, given all the given variables and understanding market and economics, I guarantee you that individual, say that the OhanaCon, I think say you have six shows that you travel and do within the month or 2 months that they travel. Okay, so you have 6 chances of selling this book. I guarantee you he would have had a better chance of selling that book if he marked the price, if he had a marked price of $400. That's still doubling market value price. And I posted this on a Facebook group, and people were giving me their opinions and everything. And they're like, well, he's trying to hit the jackpot. So he's basically singling out the majority of the market base at a con to try to get one sucker to buy. So what I'm trying to say is, if your fixed cost or your total cost for this book, you take in overhead, you take in costs, and you put it into your actual products. That's how you balance your books. So if his fixed cost for this book, say he bought the book for $20, and of course, you take fixed and overhead variables, like what does it cost for gas to go to a con, time, effort, paying staff, all this stuff, vendor fees. Okay, so say his complete total cost of that book ends up being $70. Okay, that means anything over $70 is gross profit. It's not net profit, because if he has a shop, he still has to pay bills and all this other stuff, but it's gross profit. So anything over $70 would be gross profit. So what are the chances of him selling that book at $1,000 price point or $4,000 price point? And I guarantee you the $400 price point is going to be a much larger percentage. Even the ability he has more wiggle room for people to negotiate at $1,000, right? Because they can say, oh, I'll give you $700, and he say no, $800, or someone could say $500, and he says no, $600. Even with that larger room for negotiation, I guarantee you he has a better chance of selling that book at a sticker price of $400, even if he ends up bringing it down to $300. So here's the thing. After those 6 shows, if you have a larger chance of selling it at the lower price, at the end of those shows, what's your gross profit if you don't sell the book at all? You see what I'm saying? So if he's just trying to freaking jack this book price up so extreme by 1,000% almost, and he doesn't sell it, he comes out with a net loss. Where if he was more humble and tried to be a balanced businessman, he could come out with a gross profit. That's my thing on it. And the same with the books. What I would do when I would go to a con, you can mark your keys up high, but not so extreme. But then you want to be fair with your books that you could just kind of sell off. Like the guy that I talked about here, Wonderland Comics. He had a book. It was everything was 50 cents. And he had books in that were priced $2, $3, even $4, because he knows at a con there's a large market of bargain shoppers. That's what I was doing. I just wanted to, fill some holes in some runs, spend 50 cents or $1 or $2, excuse me, on a couple of fun books. So when you talk about what's the product cost for each book, what his overhead is, and what he's trying to bring in by making profits and gross profit, he's being a smarter businessman, because even though you may be taking a loss off of expected gain of a price of a book, you gain nothing if you don't sell. You can't work a con and not be a smart businessman to where you're not going to sell anything. Otherwise, what's the point of being there, right? So I definitely think like for me as a shopper too, this guy with these boxes that had them all marked up, if he had a set price if he had a whole box, it was like $5, it said $5, and I saw some late Bronze Age, Copper Age, early Modern Age, whatever books, I think myself and other people, especially people that aren't familiar with books and they got money to spend, I still think those people would be more obliged to spend $5 for a $2 or $3 book than to get sticker shock and see freaking $40 on a book, even if they don't know that they could get that book for $3 or $4 or $5 somewhere else. So yeah, guys, I don't know. I didn't like it. I think it's bad business, and I think it's just it's I have ethics and morals that I live by, and I don't mean to sound holier than thou, but that I couldn't do that, and I'm someone who wants to. I have 1 year till I graduate with my bachelor's, and I am seriously thinking about possibly opening a store, and I could never do business like that ever. There's balance. Like I said, you can't be a businessman and just have a heart of gold and like not make profit. You know, you have to make a profit. It's capitalism, regardless of if you like it or not. But there's a way to do it. There's a way to go about it. So I don't know. I would love your guys' feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have experienced any sort of situation similar to this, and how you guys reacted, or if you were in my shoes, how you guys would react, or if you think that you would see the situation similar to me, or if you have a completely different point of view, I would definitely like to hear it. All right, guys, that's it for the day. Thanks for listening to my business spiel there, and appreciate you guys watching. Till next time.